Thoma Sani Pamel Hanso Gule Toto Ube Gule number Mixe Kunder number Taranangshi Nima Karija Watamala Zaze Tone Samje Tish Leshu Tadi Hote Dadola Soma Nashi Sani ki Pamel Hanso ki Gule Regu Chewa Nashi Mathari Dus Chavi Ani Toronto ke Lhakar Kera Chubushta do Mathari in the Chava Tampo Igo statue Lape the Talo Yaka Zonia di Tama in Songwa Ani na Tari Pukat di Simne Pame Don Jewa Taranashi Lhakar Don Jewa Tikaji Shundo Chu and Yeshua the Peche Golo Jewa Manche King Bade and the Indu Tari Joge Manguchi Payozan phone number to Kamamachi Koga Tria Cheto Injinane Tikaji Shuchoache. So today, like it was read in the statement, we're celebrating the 37th anniversary since the founding or the refounding of the re-establishment of the Tibetan Women's Association. This association is now one of the major Tibetan NGOs in our community. And I want to say a few words about women, Tibetan women today, because of this special anniversary. We as a society, as a Tibetan society, are going through a historical transition. For the last 60 years, we have been transitioning from a traditional society, semi-nomadic farming society, to a modern world. We have, Tibetan women have unprecedented opportunities that generations before us in Tibet did not have. Women in Tibet before 1959 received an education if you were perhaps from an aristocratic family or a wealthy merchant family. But for most Tibetan women, the best chance they had of getting an education was to join a nunnery. So now, speaking to the younger generation of Tibetan women, over the last 60 years, we have started demonstrating our incredible potential with accomplishments in medicine, as doctors, nurses, lawyers, in the cultural and educational field, and in politics. And I think that it's very important for young Tibetan women to build upon these accomplishments. And because we come from a traditional society, we should still respect and honor all these elder Tibetan women that preceded us. We all know Tibetan women in our families who may not have had a formal education but an incredible source of wisdom, intelligence, and courage. And just as an example, on March 12, 1959, it's written in the statement, Tibetan women in Lhasa demonstrated. And when we speak about demonstration, it's not like the demonstration we have in Ottawa where we just walk down the street. On that day, on March 12th in 1959, there were bombings in Lhasa. There were shootings. It was a very, very dangerous environment where the Tibetan women who led this uprising and participated in this uprising did not know if they would be alive at the end of the day. So we have to remember these women and their incredible courage and follow in their footsteps. So I will conclude here for this segment of the few words I want to share with you. The other point that I want to share is Lhakar. Lhakar is something that was started in Tibet. And this is a very important initiative in Tibet And the fact that Tibetans all over the world are participating in this is so, so important. And just like we do in Tibet everywhere, whether we're in Europe, India, or in North America, Lhakar is the day where young Tibetans, old Tibetans of all ages gather. They wear Tibetan clothes, eat Tibetan food, speak Tibetan. And we come and celebrate our Tibetan identity. But you have to ask yourself, what makes me a Tibetan? Is it just that? And the answer to that, no. Our Tibetan identity, just as language is important, clothing is important, food is important, our Tibetan identity is very strongly rooted in our cultural values, our values of compassion, of secular ethics, of thinking about the collective welfare before our personal interests. So, as the number of Tibetan youth continue to increase here, I hope, I would like you to take away from this brief talk that I'm giving today to question yourself about what makes you a Tibetan and really commit to being engaged in your community. You can be engaged in any way that you like. I'm currently working on a project called the Chisholm Project that some of you may know about, where we're documenting the history of the first Tibetans in Canada. And it's a wonderful project that is very important for the collective memory. And in that project, we have multiple generations of Tibetans. We have young Tibetans in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s. So stay engaged. Celebrate your Tibetan identity. We're at a critical juncture in our community right now where a lot of the elderly Tibetans who were born and raised in Tibetan and knew Tibet before Chinese invasion are passing away. And we are celebrating Lhakar everywhere across the world, Tibetans, because we all feel like we are part of one nation, the Tibetan nation. And that sense of national identity is not an accident. It's something that His Holiness has been working very hard over the last 60 years. And it needs to be nurtured and cultivated. The younger generations have to take ownership of it so that 50, 100 years from now, we have to think far away when we are looking at the 4th, 5th generation of Tibetans in Canada. They still celebrate their Tibetan identity, their Tibetan nationality, their Tibetan sense of belonging and pride and Tibetan heritage. Thank you.